Hello all and welcome to AstroPsych 400. My name is Ned DeHaan and I am your host. In this episode I will be talking to you guys all about the red pill, and I first learned about this because of a documentary that was put out on the YouTube Movies channel, but I watched that one and then I just put it in the back of my mind and on the back burner, so to speak. In 2019 I began exploring more manosphere content simply because it was available on YouTube, and the manosphere is more or less a giant web of different ideologies and different ideas, belief systems, and praxeologies that are all about how men are trying to explore the world. And they can cover everything from MGTOW, men going their own way, black pillars, who are more focused on looks and physical appearances, and I have a video about that, and I invite you guys to watch and listen to and give your feedback on. And the red pill explores a lot of things about men and women, and that was my initial understanding of this. A lot of what I learned about the red pill comes to us from an individual named Rollo Tomassi, who wrote a series of books called The Rational Male. He has at least 5 volumes now at the time of this recording, and I've only read the first one, The Rational Male, but I became a regular listener to his show at the tail end of 2020, and for about a year and a half, I would regularly listen to the Rational Male YouTube channel. He would do these 4-hour live streams, so I would listen to about 1 hour every day for 4 days, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I would listen to about an hour of each episode, or I would listen to about an hour of the episode over the course of those days. And what I found was that a lot of people in the comments section seemed very angry toward women, and a lot of people who were criticizing the red pill and making comments about the red pill seemed to think that it was all about hating women. But when I would actually listen to the comments about the red pill, it wasn't about hating women at all. And it was not in the first episode of The Rational Male on Rollo Tomassi's channel that I heard, but the second one. It was the second time I ever listened to his YouTube channel. He openly said that he wrote the book The Rational Male, and he does the YouTube show not because he wants you to hate women. He doesn't want you to hate women. He simply wants you to understand women, or to the fact that he doesn't want you to hate women because they can't give a man what a man is expecting to have. And that is more or less how I approach the red pill. And you can hear these different terms that are used: ideology, praxeology. My understanding of the red pill is that it's a playbook. It is a way that men can navigate relationships with women, interactions with women. And one of the biggest criticisms that I've heard from people who complain about the red pill is that it is something that is unfair to women because it's only talking about the problems that women have. It's not talking about the problems that men have. And my simple response is, of course men do bad things, but I'm not trying to date them. I'm not trying to have romantic relationships with men, and that's not what I look to the red pill for, about trying to navigate relationships and interactions with women. That's what the red pill is for. And I can be very honest, I found an enormous amount of truth in the red pill, and I don't hate women. I have a fiance, and I love her, and looking at something like The Rational Male has allowed me to understand women in a different way. And also, there are other books out there that aren't even super red pill that cover these subjects. No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover would be a good example of one, where it just talks about how there are certain beliefs that our society has about human behavior that turn out to be rather false. And that's why it's called the red pill. I mean, you can even find this in non-red pill sources. I mean, lots of manosphere individuals who don't identify as red pill are also going to be talking about things that deal with getting rid of this old order type of thinking. But we have the red pill and the blue pill, and we get these names because of the movie The Matrix. The blue pill is some comforting illusions that people have, and the red pill is about learning the truth. So how exactly do we learn the truth and understand women? So much of this comes from getting rid of the blue pill thinking, unplugging from the matrix, and understanding that a lot of the life lessons that people have been taught are not exactly the truth. They were designed for power. And you often hear Rollo Tomassi talking about the gynocentric social order. And I once wrote out a rather lengthy comment once on a different YouTube channel. I was using my BlackBoxOnlineRadio handle. That's my primary channel that I've used for years. And someone just asked a question, what is the gynocentric social order? And this is one that I can answer. I mean, Rollo Tomassi has talked about this a lot with the example of a preschool teacher or a kindergarten teacher. When a boy goes to preschool or kindergarten in the Western world, almost always he has a female teacher. And the model student, the ideal student for the teacher, is one who is polite and fair and helpful and courteous and kind and a good listener, all of those things. And when someone grows up with that type of thinking that those are the types of behaviors that are good and someone should behave that way, well, what's going to happen? That boy is going to turn 13 or 14 years old and realize that those types of behaviors aren't attractive to the opposite sex. Those types of behaviors aren't attractive to women. And I don't know if he's going to realize it immediately. I didn't realize any of this stuff till I was in my 30s. I'm 35 right now. It's more about just how that the teacher was only telling the kids to behave that way so she could control them. What is the gynocentric social order? It's a set of pro-female elements in society that is designed to control men and shows indifference to their well-being. And I was actually just listening to the Rational Male Clips channel, and one thing came up was, well, what exactly is normal in society? Normal is behaving like a girl, because of the exact mentioned reasons. It's easier to control people when you have the female teacher telling boys to behave like girls, or just creating this expectation of being polite and nice and gentle. All of those characteristics are not desirable to the opposite sex. And it goes so far beyond that. It's just, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, it doesn't even make sense from a humane standpoint. You think that people would want to be around someone with those qualities, right? Someone who is kind and nice, and someone who is a good listener and is empathetic and compassionate. Oh, and how about this one? Having a wide range of subjects to talk about. I always thought that that would have been a good thing growing up, but it turns out that when someone has those types of characteristics, other people often perceive them as weak, or they perceive them as open for manipulation, susceptible to their manipulations. That's why you have to unplug from the matrix and recognize that just those types of behaviors aren't that attractive. They aren't that desirable. And it's very hard to do this because the entirety of our K through 12 education says everything to the contrary. Nobody prepares you for how to interact with people in social situations. Nobody prepares you for how to interact with people in romantic situations. You have to figure it out on your own. Because of the internet, people are actually waking up and paying attention, and they're just recognizing that, hey, everything that I've been taught about human behavior has mostly been either a lie or mistaken, or it's bad information. Why is it bad information? Because it's creating this message of gentleness about how you're just supposed to be gentle, and then people are going to like you for who you are. We even used to sing a song like that in school, like, it might have even had like this Sesame Street music in the background. I don't know if they created it or not, but it would be special, special, everyone is special, everyone in his or her own way. Yeah, guess what? No one gives a crap if you're special. No one gives a crap about eccentricities. There has to be some type of supporting factor that is going to be connected to that. Now, I've talked to you guys a lot about Rollo Tomassi, and he's really the only red pill creator that I've mentioned to this point. There are other people that buy into this type of red pill thinking, and they are Myron Gaines, Fresh Prince CEO, even Andrew Tate gets often included in red pill discussions. But are they actually red pill? I think that there's something so much more important. Firstly, Myron Gaines and Fresh Prince CEO host the Fresh and Fit podcast, and I've never heard anybody say this, but this is my honest take on them. Why can't we just admit that Fresh and Fit is an incredibly boring show? I mean, they bring girls on their podcast who aren't broadcasters, who aren't even the most articulate, and I could never get through a single episode. I just couldn't, because they would do like introductions, as your name and your age and body count and so on. I think those are the three things they do. And after that, it's just so incredibly boring. Now people are just waiting for the clip moments where somebody gets angry about something. All right, well, you don't need to watch some 2-hour episode. Also, I've tried to watch some of their debates and so on. They are incredibly boring as well, and I don't really think that those guys have a lot to say. I think that they just packaged their show in a way that was attractive to a lot of people. And as far as somebody like Andrew Tate, he is a rapist and a sex trafficker, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. Who cares what he has to say about anything? And more importantly, if somebody is going to take an ideology that has been designed for understanding human behavior, and they are going to pervert that ideology for hatred, they have no respect or no value in my book, and they shouldn't in anyone's book. And that's the whole thing. Even Dr. Jordan Peterson talked about this when he said that if anybody uses his material to hate women, they're not listening. They're just projecting their own story onto it. They're projecting their own hatred and misinformation onto it as well. There's another red pill creator out there named Michael Sartain, who is the business partner of Rollo Tomasi, and he has made some insightful statements from time to time. However, there are a lot of accusations against him just about lying about his credentials, even lying about his height, saying that he's 6'1" when he's actually 5'9" or something like that. I've never met the guy, but people show a lot of evidence on other channels about how he doesn't always tell the truth, but he did say one thing, and you can evaluate it from your own standpoint. You can evaluate the idea on the merits. And he said that he worked in a strip club for 4 years, and all of the most attractive women who worked in the club had boyfriends that treated them like shit. You do not get a woman by being nice. Or how about this one? You don't get an attractive woman simply by being nice. There has to be some type of other factor involved. But this is something that people might not expect to hear if they've listened this far into the episode, and that is, I'm not a red pillar. No one should ever call themselves a red pillar. No one should ever take on that name. And I hear very few people identifying as red pillars. I see a lot of people identifying as black pillars, but it's the same thing. No one should ever identify as any type of pillar in these types of pill ideologies for the sole fact of you can play the game of listen to many, follow no one. And there are going to be elements of truth in the red pill, but it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be explorations of human behavior between the sexes and the genders, but you are going to just have to explore things in your own way. And it's the same with the black pillars who focus more on physical appearance. Yeah, there's a lot of truth in what they're saying, but there are going to be imperfections. And the only pill that I thought actually had some acceptance or something that was valuable enough to accept was from Steve the Dean Williams when he said, take the me pill, take your own pill, just be your own person. But you can learn things along the way. Say, for example, with the red pill, it's all about learning about human behavior. It's about exploring and navigating the differences between men and women, intersexual dynamics. I often hear Rollo Tomasi use that term, and mostly for the longest time, I thought he was saying intersectional dynamics, like men have their section and women have their section, but it's the same concept, intersexual dynamics. And there are things that men have to learn. Men who are trying to have heterosexual relationships with women, learning that certain types of behaviors are attractive and certain types of behaviors are not. The reason why you can't stick to the red pill completely is the black pillars are right about a lot of things, and that is that your physical appearance is the most important thing when it comes to attracting a partner. It's not the only thing, and some people go a little bit overboard, but it is the most important thing when it comes to not only attracting a partner, but interacting in social situations, going to a job interview. Your physical appearance is very important. Now, the black pill isn't perfect either because there are going to be exceptions. There are going to be other types of factors that are going to challenge this thing about. So you can learn from black pillars. You can learn about the importance of looks maxing, but it doesn't mean that everything that they're saying is perfect. It doesn't mean that everything the red pill is saying is perfect. But as I said, the red pill is not even an ideology in my book. It's not even a praxeology or a philosophy. It's not even a set of beliefs. It's a playbook. Like, for example, with playbook, when you're playing in football, like American football, and you have the offensive lineman trying to block the defensive end, trying to prevent him from sacking the quarterback, that's not a belief. That's not an ideology. That's what's happening. And that's one thing that's so valuable about commentary, is because it's actually looking at these types of behaviors that people are experiencing in life, and it's just highlighting them. It's just saying, this is what's happening, and these are experiences that people have had. And the red pill can also go way too far when it's talking about looks and money and status, particularly money and status. And I think that it gets blown out of proportion. And this is what perhaps when you need to go to a different section of the manosphere for guidance, and that would be the pickup artists and the dating coaches. Never pay any money for them. Absolutely not. But when you actually listen to their message, what they're talking about is improving your physical appearance, earning more money, getting your finances in order, improving your status. That is not going to teach you how to interact with people. That's not going to teach you how to sexualize text messages. That is not going to show you how to maintain and hold a conversation and what things to say during a conversation. As I said, not only have I never paid for a dating coach, I would never pay for a dating coach, and they put out so much of the content for free online. I mean, you can just try and learn from those types of, those types of arrangements. The final thing I'll say in this video is that some people look to the red pill and develop something called red pill rage, and I'm completely against that. I am of the belief that you should never be angry about anything. Even I get angry sometimes, but I shouldn't. You're not supposed to feel that type of emotion. And when anyone is looking to something because they're angry and they want something to justify their anger, they are in the wrong from a moral standpoint. And that just goes back to the concept of people aren't listening to the red pill, they are perverting it because they've had some bad experiences. And this is also something that I've experienced a lot when I'm trying to watch this type of content. For example, people will be on these types of life coaching calls. Like I mentioned, Michael Sartain, he runs the Men of Action program, and he does either a weekly or bi-weekly coaching call or something like that. And somebody asked him a question once on that, and he had covered the material 10 minutes before that person asked the question. And he's just like, well, as I said 10 minutes ago, and the person wasn't listening at all and wasn't paying attention at all. And that's what I've noticed from people. That's what I've noticed from people who really turn to a lot of manosphere content. They're stuck in a rut and they don't necessarily want to get out. It's almost like they're at the base of the mountain and they're watching people climb the mountain, and they're just sitting there waiting for some type of millionaire with a helicopter to come by and fly them to the top. Oh, hey, you want to go to the top of the mountain? I'm taking my helicopter up there. I'll give you a lift. Even if it takes 3 years or 5 years or 7 years, they're just going to sit there wallowing in their own misery, waiting for somebody else to either solve the problem or just effortlessly waiting for the problem to solve itself. And that is something that I found that's even frustrating. But one thing that's so valuable is doing stuff like that, watching a call-in show and listening to the callers and what are they saying, watching a live stream and the type of super chats that the people are reading off. How do people respond to these types of content creators? Because a lot of people aren't looking to the manosphere and the red pill for guidance. They're not even looking at it for hatred. They're using it as a type of soap opera. They just want to become familiar with the people, and then they just want to follow along with the drama and the gossip, which is an absolute waste of time. Even if you've listened this far into the video, and you can hit the like button and subscribe if you choose, I hope that you understand that I look at this type of stuff because I want to understand humanity. That's why I started talking about things on YouTube in the past. As I said, I also run a channel called BlackBoxOnlineRadio talking about true crime. And I just wanted to watch human behavior, understand human behavior. And I think that the red pill is extremely good at looking at, okay, here are all the ways that I went wrong in the past, and here are all the ways that I can move forward in the future. As I said, playbook, not a philosophy. But what do you think about anything that I've discussed in this episode? You can put your ideas in the comments section down below. And if you like this episode, you can support this channel at buymeacoffee.com/switchforcemedia. My name is Ned DeHaan one more time. And really, though, just share something in the comments section. Write what you think about the red pill. And I will talk to you guys in the future, okay?